Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 280th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We're powered by those sexy legends at Audio Technica and obviously 8bit.net. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, as always, my podcast, Right I Die, the Peely to my Agent Jones. You can find her on them socials at Miss Allie Hart. Miss Allie Hart, how the bloody hell are you?
Well, I'm doing good. I've already scoffed down about 3 chai lattes today, so I'm running on mild engines.
Yeah, we did sort of share our mutual love of the old chai latte before we started recording. It is a very underrated beverage, one must say.
It's a new sensation for me, but I think I am liking it a lot more than generic shot of espresso.
You like that, just that little subtle sort of sweetnessy zestiness you get from the
spice.
cinnamon?
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it.
It's sort of like a year long. It's almost like Christmassy. Like the cinnamon reminds me a little bit of Christmas, but you have it any time and it's the best.
Yeah, I agree. And it's right now it's sitting as a strong contender as being something for all year round is in regards to like being able to drink it hot and cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very into iced coffees, especially coffee poured over ice. For some reason it's too bitter or too watery. Just not right. So
fair. It's fair. Yeah, it's an acquired taste, the old iced coffee, especially if you're doing like nothing milky. Like if it is just a shot over some ice, it can still slap you around. And then when you get it with the coldness, you're like, what am I drinking here, brain? What is this?
Is it even working?
Yeah, but the coffee is working for me this morning. I'm just on the Starbucks breakfast blend this morning, actually. It's actually gone. I drank it all. I was about to have another sip.
I saw you go for that. I'm like, oh, he's up for disappointment.
Yeah, so because I didn't have my usual blonde pods at Woolies the other day, so I pivoted in the breakfast blend. It's hitting sweet, so I'm happy. I'm happy, but something else that I think we're probably collectively happy about, and that we've been hitting those sweet shots, you might say, is we're hanging out with all the cool kids playing Fortnite No Build. You're back in the game with me, Miss Hart.
Yeah, that's right. Finally installed and played a couple of rounds. You took me under the wing and kind of showed me how the lay of the land is, and we got some W's, which was nice. Got some interesting team ups with randos, so it was us 2 and 2 other random people, and to my surprise, apparently our performance was good enough for them to want to stick around, so that was shocking considering.
That's one of the nicest things that can happen in Fortnite, I think, when after a match and you see people wanting to re-squad up with you that you don't know, you're like, oh, I'm not as bad as I thought. Or maybe we're just as bad as each other. Like,
maybe we're missing like good weapons or something. They're like,
that's it.
What they're doing.
What do they say? Misery loves company. So it's like, you know what? We died together. We're going to ride together. Let's go again, Brody, and generic name XYZ with your obscure skin.
Yeah, it was like sexy girl something or other, because I remember maybe he or she is the one who abducted me from the group. So
yeah, that was the whole thing. So we were like mid-battle and sexy girl, whatever, chucked you in the ute, and you guys just booned to the other side of the map and just left me out in the wilderness.
At first I understood what they were doing. They were running people over because we were kind of surrounded. I'm like, I get this. I'll shoot. You run over people. But then at some point they went, well, let's just go to the other side of the map. And I'm like, well, it's nice knowing you, B-Man, but we're starting a new life together over here.
Well, we somehow managed to reunite later on in the match. Did we win that one too?
No, I think we got like top something though.
Okay. Yeah. But it's good fun. Like,
it is.
I know we've made fun of this game on and off for the last few years about no interest in playing, but this no build mode edition that Epic have done is the smartest thing they've done with this game in a good long time. The player base, it's had a nice spike. more casual players like ourselves are getting in and having fun and finding it accessible. And then no doubt the additional revenue streams that they're getting from the ever-rotating store would be also a nice benefit for everybody there at Epic, I'd imagine.
The store. The store's interesting. It's very enticing, so I know how they make so much money. Because every day there's like a refresh, something new, something different in the store. So that it makes a lot of sense, like why Epic has Fortnite as this like massive money maker. But like I was going to get something, but then it's like you have to attach a credit card, like you have to. And then they had PayPal. I'm like, sweet. And it's like, yeah, but you have to have a credit card connected to your PayPal. I'm like, oh. It's annoying. I like it stopped me, so I've yet to buy anything.
Well, I buy all the things. I have no self-control.
Doesn't really shock anyone, I think. But it's fair. Like I wouldn't necessarily consider my person that's easily swayed to wanting everything. But there's maybe been like one or two things that kind of made me go, ooh, like that would be cool. But I think I want to see how long like I play Fortnite for. Like maybe I'll get over it in a few weeks. So I don't want to drop a lot of money on it if I'm just going to not play it again. But if there's something really, really cool on there, then maybe I will drop some cash.
I know we were both very close to buying this like demonic flying hellbeast mount. That, look, it was so unlike anything I've seen. Like, and I know we say this because we're newbies and haven't touched this interface in years. Yeah. It could be a regular thing, but seeing that in there amongst all the other standard gliders and stuff, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. I want to ride into battle holding on to some demon talons and it flying and breathing fire and whatever else. It was gangster.
It was hooks. It had like little like metal hooks that you would hold on to, and it's like blowing fire, and it looked like something out of Doom. It was pretty damn metal. So I was like, it'd be nice to kind of fly in on that amongst all the cutesiness that's going on around here. But snooze you lose, and wasn't able to grab that one.
Yeah, I missed out too. I ummed and ahed and procrastinated for too long, and it is out into the ether again now. But then was outside of playing with yourself, I was playing with friend of the show, Nasi, a little bit this week as well, and he's got skins on skins on skins. Like every new mode, every new match, he's like, oh, I'm going to play as the Xenomorph now. So you watch a Xenomorph flying in, hiding a Millennium Falcon glider, which also looks brilliant, by the way, with like some crazy backpack and then like a giant pickaxe. Like it's just the combinations of like legendary pop culture characters fighting other legendary pop culture characters doing ridiculous things is one of my favorite things in this game. It's like, oh, there's Wolverine getting shot by Predator, who's getting chased by blah, blah, blah. And then there's Ariana Grande in the corner doing an emote. It's like, it's just this melting pot of absurdness, and I love it.
Giant banana suit doing the dungeon style. Like, I do enjoy the chaos that is the lobby, like before the game starts. And it's just like you got BTS over here, you've got another song going on over here, you got other people doing weird dances and actions and stuff. I just love that. It's a mess. It is a mess, but I do enjoy that craziness before match starts. It's
like you can't fault Epic. Like I know we've sort of thrown shade from afar behind our ivory tower microphones over the years, but then jumping in there and I'm like, I understand this secret sauce now. Like
it makes sense.
It is a melting pot of everything in pop culture. And it just somehow works. Like all these characters, all these tunes from the radio, all these dances and emotes from yesteryear, and it just comes together in this Battle Royale madness. And yeah, I'm very happy that no build mode's there because it's been some really good... Like I haven't touched Apex in probably a month plus, I reckon, because I've just been enjoying this and in other games, and it's so good.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if we actually start seeing a kick in... Battle Royale content. Like I know that Call of Duty Warzone is going to be introducing I think it's a mode with Godzilla
and King Kong.
Oh, King Kong's in it too, is he?
Yeah. So I'm assuming you're going to be battling around and they're going to be just some NPCs that sort of inhabit some of the map, and maybe they can stomp you, or you get bloody, like, what's the the element that Godzilla breathes. It's not fire. It's like
electric fire, isn't it?
yeah, it's something. But I'm assuming that's going to be splashing around the battlefield, and you're trying to not only kill other people but avoid getting Godzilla or Konged, and it's a weird crossover. But I'm intrigued at the very least. Like, I'd play it once or twice just to feel it out.
I want to see the scale. I want to see like how like massive they're going to be in contrast to you as a player, because that could just be cool, just seeing it happen, like as as like a map event.
Most definitely. Like, you think like they're going to be skyscraper sized creatures, and you're just this tiny little ant person. Like, it would be epic in every sense of the word, and obviously the various studios behind all the COD iterations, like it's going to be well presented. It's going to be a big spectacle. So I'm going to jump back in and give that a spin. But yeah, Fortnite, it's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying my time with that.
Yeah, I look forward to playing it a bit more and playing with more people and such, and to see if I do actually cave and at least get the battle pass. So
yeah, you need to. And another quick just throwaway shout out on this game too is the audio quality on the lobbies when you're going cross-platform is phenomenal.
Oh, like voice chat or?
Yeah. Sorry, I should have been narrower in my focus there. Yeah, the voice chat when it's party chat and things like that. Comparative to
we had no issues.
No, super clean. Audio is slick. Comparing that to Tiny Tina's, which is a great game in its own right, but the audio quality going cross-platform on that is a disgusting mess, where obviously Epic's been doing this for a lot longer with Fortnite, but you can see the quality control they've put into making this thing be as smooth and seamless as possible. And I can't speak highly enough about this game, Miss Hart.
You know what they have in Fortnite? You can do your own custom lobbies, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Haven't tried any of that yet. Maybe one day. Too busy chasing those crowns. But haven't played anything else apart from that, Miss Hart. You the same?
Yeah, exactly the same. Sorry, guys. Assignment's got me bad.
That's fair. I'm going to do a super quick scatter shot on things I've watched, and then we can circle back. And if you got some stuff you want to break down there too. But first and foremost, the latest episodes of Moon Knight. Moon Knight was very interesting where they took the story. There's only 2 episodes to go in this run now. Really digging where it went. The vibe and the tone shift in episode 4 was much needed, I must say. Really, really intrigued to see how they finish up these next 2 episodes. And then jumping across to Halo, the 5th episode of Halo dropped this past week. And it was also a good tonal shift as far as where the episode ramped up, and they really, really captured the magic of that Halo large-scale battle fight, space-based combat, fighting the Covenant and stuff, and it ended on such a high note. So I'm excited to see if they can keep that momentum going up in the back half of this first season. So they were good. They were very good. If we pivoted to sort of Brendan's Weeb Watch corner, I have watched all the anime this week. I finally finished the first season of My Dress Up Darling. I love that show. It was so cute and heartfelt, and I just want more of it. Like, I was feeling all the emotions, and it's just adorable, and I love it.
Funny, just like, and I know this is bad because stereotypes, but just seeing someone that looks the way that you do, like, fucking metalhead with the beard and, all black and stuff, also, funnily enough, kettle black when it comes to that. But just hearing you say, oh, I'm really enjoying this show called My Dress Up Darling. Mm-hmm. It's
so cute. It's so cute. Like, I've got such a soft spot for anything that's just adorable and charming and cute and romantic, and it's got all those bits in it. Like, and it's so great. And Gojo, he's just an adoring, lovable, aloof introvert that I think a lot of us can relate to in certain ways. And seeing him and Marin develop this relationship or this friendship over these 12 episodes has been, and I'm hoping we get a second season because it's so good. Outside of that, a new show's just sort of dropped this past couple of weeks called Spy X Family, which is about like and in air quotes, a family that comes together. So it's just a group of spies that have formed a family for the sake of this big mission they're trying to take over. Super cute, super funny, charming, really, really well written. And yeah, I'm all in on that. And then another show I binged all in, across 24 hours, 25 episodes of this show called The Ascendance of a Bookworm. So it's of that isekai style where someone from our reality passes away and they wake up in like a fantasy realm.
Okay.
And this character, she wakes up in the body of this young girl named Mine, and she's sort of a frail girl, can't do much because she's sick all the time. But from present day, she was like a very introverted girl that loved books and loved to read and all that. But because she's back in, this medieval era where paper and things like that isn't really a thing. So her goal is to like want to read all the books and open up a bookstore. So it's that very like not a ton happens. It's very relatable and just day to day. Like, for current day, you could say it's like Seinfeld, but in the anime realm where, it's not these big momentous things. It's just day to day happenings around this town. And this just little character, she's so cute, and just seeing all her present day smarts get reflected into this fantasy realm, like showing them how to cook certain things or create certain things and making life better for people around. It was just really touching and really adorable. And 25 episodes just flew by on that one, and it's so good. And I've been watching so many other things, but I just wanted to highlight those and just shout out My Dress Up Darling and Spike's Family, especially because they're just so good. And I want more My Dress Up Darling immediately. Please and thank you. Been watching anything?
Spike's Family actually sounds, it could be interesting. Like, it might pique my interest a little bit, but no, I haven't really watched much. Just a lot of YouTube, just a lot of D&D. So
that's fair. That's fair.
It's good background stuff.
Yeah, I still haven't taken that plunge because I know
I
will fall down a big rabbit hole.
it's pretty addictive. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah, but give Spike's Family a look. It's on Crunchyroll. I think there's 4 episodes that are subbed, and I think they've just released the second episode in the dub. So depending on which way you want to go, but it's sort of set in that, say, 1960s, 1970s. So it's sort of got that look and aesthetic. Sort of spy films of yesteryear. But it's just super cute, super funny, and I reckon it's going to be one of the best new animes to come out this year when it's all said and done. So, can't get enough of that. But listeners, if you can't get enough of us, head on over to ko-fi.com/weare8bit, where you can support us monetarily for the low price of $1 per month, get you exclusive access to content, giveaways, and more. If you want to get some merchandise on your person, you can obviously head over to shop8bit.net to get the latest and greatest of tees, hats, hoodies, and everything else in between. Humble brag, but I think it's just about the best pop culture or gaming merch store in the land. Some really, really great designs by some very, very talented artists. And you've still got a couple of days. So by the time this episode comes out, you'll have a few more days left to get in on our April giveaway, where you can win yourself an ADG1 gaming headset courtesy of our friends over at Audio Technica. To go in the draw, all you need to do is drop us a message on the socials or hit us up with an email, hello@8bit.net, with the code word. Miss Hart, what was that code word? Halo. That is exactly right. It is Halo. So HALO, drop that into our messages or on an email to go in the running to win an ADG1 gaming headset and a couple other little bits and pieces from ourselves here at 8-Bits. So winner will be announced on episode 281 of THG and also broadcast on those socials as well. But Miss Hart, what do you say we get into some news?
Let's do it.
This week's news headlines.
All right, and the first thing I want to throw at you, it's going to be something different. I don't know if you did a bit of research and maybe Googled this quote to get the inside track, or if you're going in blind.
Going in blind.
Ali, if I was to say to you, this is a quote that has been doing the round this week, I'm going to ask you, what I would be referring to or whom I would be referring to, and then we can expand it out into the story itself. And the quote goes, I have all the time, all the money, and all the resources to burn them all to the fucking ground. Who or what would I be referring to?
Now, I read this, and I'm like, is it gaming related? Because
it is gaming related.
Oh, it is gaming related.
Yep.
So the only thing... To me, it sounds like... Because at first I was like, is this like a Game of Thrones shit? But I'm assuming, because we are relatively a gaming podcast, that it had to be gaming related. But the attitude is very entitled. So, like, I'm assuming it's like maybe like some celebrity or something like that maybe got like banned off a game or something, or maybe their likeness was used or something, or I don't know. Like, I remember when Lindsay Lohan tried to sue for the GTA.
Oh, for
load
GTA
screen.
for 5,
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm thinking. But I wouldn't have a clue like who the celebrity would be.
You're on the right train of thought.
Really?
Think of a celebrity from that group or that social circle, like Lindsay Lohan. So similar world,
I mean, she's
reality
still a
star. Yeah,
Reality
asterisk
star.
beside that. One of the biggest celebrities in the world, you could say, from a very large, successful family now.
Oh, what? Is it a Kardashian?
It is a Kardashian. It is a Kardashian. So that was Kim Kardashian saying, I have all the time, all the money, and all the resources to burn them all to the fucking ground.
Is she in a nudie game?
It's to do with that. It's
Really?
weird. I never thought I'd talk about a nudie game in conjunction with Roblox, because Kim Kardashian has threatened to sue Roblox after a game claiming to offer an unreleased sex tape appeared on the platform. So obviously with Roblox, the community can make so many player-made games and do their own things and put all kinds of creepy weirdness in. And one of them used Kim Kardashian's face as clickbait while claiming to have unseen footage of a sex tape featuring the star. So old Kimmy K, who actually found out about this advertisement from her 6-year-old son Saint, who was playing the game, and sort of said, Mummy, what are you doing on here? You know, what are you doing on my Roblox?
I mean, the kid's going to grow up soon enough and find out about his mum, but yeah, that's bad. That's not just for her kid, but like if kids are seeing it on a game that's relatively meant for kids.
Yeah,
that's not good.
So on the back of that, Roblox has banned the developer of this game. And they've also denied, like, there was you never clicked through and there was a sex tape. It was just clickbait to get them through to, I guess, try and buy the game that actually had in the back end there. But the developer's been canned. Roblox has turned around and said, there is no video on our platform. Kim K, please do not sue us for all the money. We're very, very sorry. Let's be friends. So, that was old Kimmy Kardashian talking about burning everyone involved in Roblox to the effing ground.
I mean, that just means that they need to moderate their shit a bit better. Like, it shouldn't have taken like a big celebrity threatening to sue you to say like, oh, maybe we should make a safer space for people, like, for their kids.
Exactly. So there you go. We're shifting gears a little bit to something that still is a little eyebrow raising, but for different reasons. And this past week, Sonic Origins was announced, and it's a compilation of 4 remastered Sega classics. It's due out on the 23rd of June for Nintendo Switch, PC via Steam and the Epic Game Store, as well as PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series S/X. Included are remastered versions of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic CD, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where you can play Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. Some of the additional features in the bonus editions are a little cheeky, however. Pre-orders get the Start Dash Pack DLC with 100 bonus coins and Mirror Mode unlocked from the start. The Premium Fun Pack, also included in the Digital Deluxe Edition, includes, in quotes, character animation in the main menu and camera controls over the main menu islands. There's a graphic that has been doing the rounds in conjunction with these 5 different modes, where depending on 5 different editions, I should say, where depending on how much money you lay out for said edition, you get access to very rudimentary features you think should be available in all these games from the jump. But no, you gotta pay the piper to get some of these extra things, which is absolutely absurd. I already saw Devolver sort of have a little shot based on Trek to Yomi with the additions and the price points, and it's like, no, you get everything. Like, took this graphic and just like ticked all the boxes for the release, saying that we're not dodgy like you, Sega. But Sonic Origins You're the resident sort of Sonic superfan here. How do you feel? Are you as perplexed and confused as I am about all these additions and what you do and or don't get?
Yeah, like you actually tagged me in the initial announcement post, which like I was pretty excited about. But then soon after, like everyone kind of started throwing this graphic around on like the different editions that you can get and what you get and what you don't get kind of thing. And it's weird. Like the graphic in itself almost looks like it contradicts itself. Like I'm wondering if they tried to make it so like only fans of certain things about the game don't have to order a specific version, because there's one here where it's the music pack, and then it's like that's the only thing that's ticked under it. So
yeah, that's the classic music pack only.
No, that doesn't make sense. I'm just wondering because it also doesn't say you have to buy that. You have to buy the classic music pack on top of the game, standard edition. Yeah. Okay, there we go. But yeah, like it's a messy kind of graphic, and then it looks like you're missing out. It looks like they purposely took the game and then separated it for an extra $1.
Yeah, like even things, the ones that sort of stand out the most to me is hard missions are only available in 2 of the 4 game editions themselves. You can only get hard missions in the Premium Fun Pack or the Digital Deluxe Edition. Mirror Mode is only available in Start Dash Pack, which is an add-on to those sort of base editions. And then there's obviously things like the character animation in the main menus is only available in some of the versions, or some of the packs and not the others. It's just very bizarre. Like I don't understand the logic that Sega had when they're like, you know what, let's break this up to maybe make it more accessible to some, but in essence, it alienates more people, I think, or confuses more people.
It confuses, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, we've been around a while, and we know game menus and purchasing of titles, and this is still very confusing to me as far as, I want the letterbox backgrounds, but it's only available in these packs or these expansions. I want to play the hard. Well, you can't play the hard off the standard edition. You got to buy these packs to do it. And it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Sega? Tell me.
It's all over the place. Like, it's kind of disheartening for me because I would just like to buy the base game, because for the most part, everything in the game kind of looks like either, I think they're just like remixes of the previous games or previous levels that they've actually had, probably some of the favorites, which I'm okay with. But the thing that I actually really liked was the animation that they added into it, the little animation scenes that you saw in the trailer. But hell, I don't know how I get that. Do I get that in the character animation in the main menu, or is it the character animation during music? Like I don't know what I'm getting anymore. If I saw a trailer, I want to know what I'm getting.
Yeah, you'll need to buy the standard edition and then the Premium Fun Pack, because apparently fun is optional off that standard edition. So you need to buy that, or you just go straight to the Digital Deluxe Edition. I don't know. If
you get something that's called the Deluxe, like usually Deluxe implies like this is the be all and end all, but no, according to this diagram, like this graphic, there's things you aren't going to get.
Yeah, you don't get the 100 bonus coins. You don't get the mirror, like for the full-fledged high-end version of this game. Yeah, the Digital Deluxe Edition, you're still missing three of the checkboxes from this graphic, and it's like, what are you doing?
We don't even know that. Like, maybe this will be a case because they mention these bonus coins. Maybe these things will be possibly purchasable within the game, but you'll need bonus coins or something for it. So maybe it's like, if you buy this edition, then you don't have to worry about getting the bonus coins. You're just going to get it anyway. I don't know.
It's clear as mud, isn't it?
Yeah, head scratcher.
But you know what? The exciting thing is it's out, like it's literally out in 2 months' time from today. So we're recording on the 23rd of April right now, Saturday morning here in the AU. Friday afternoon for the rest of the globe, give or take a few hours. But 2 months' time, this game will be available on every platform. This compilation of 4 games will be available on every platform. So any Sonic fans out there can check that out. And luckily, you don't have to pay extra to go fast. You can just go fast from the get-go in the base game. That's not a fun pack you need to add. It's ready to go straight out the box. So that's reassuring, at least.
Maybe. You don't know.
Maybe. We don't know. One other thing we actually do know is a little nice little nugget that came through this week as well is Lost Boys Interactive, which is a studio who most recently worked on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and has also lent its talents to titles such as Call of Duty and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, has been officially acquired by Gearbox. So obviously they were working hand in hand with Gearbox on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And it seems they've left such a great impression that Gearbox has said, you know what, we're gonna buy you up, Lost Boys Interactive. Great studio name, by the way. Love that name.
Great movie.
Phenomenal. Great movie. And obviously, if we wanted to dot the lines and say, great group of kids in...
Abducted kids trapped in
Peter
an
Pan.
ageless...
there is some atrocities attached to their backstory. But now they're having a good time. They're having food fights. They're fighting pirates. Yeah, the 80s classic Lost Boys movie, though. One of the best vampire movies
Fantastic
around.
vampire movie. Fantastic. Great soundtrack. Recommend.
Great cast, too. My God.
Kiefer Sutherland. Oof.
Yeah. Good times. Good
And
times.
Ted?
But
Isn't Ted?
And Ted, yeah, from Bill and Ted fame. I always forget his real name, but it's like all you ever see him in is Lost Boys and Bill and Ted, and that's it.
And the two Coreys.
Yeah, lest we forget for one of them, but yeah,
Corey
good
Haim
times. Corey Haim, yeah,
might be the one that's
that passed. But yeah, check out Lost Boys, the fantastic sort of very moody, very punk rock vampire film. Yeah, one of the goats, I think.
It's
Doesn't get
obviously
enough love.
Yeah, well, yeah, within circles, it's a top tier, but it might be a bit dated for other people, but we'll watch it anyway. Or wait till, October and make it one of those kind of movies to watch. Did you see that Tales from the Borderlands got announced? Or
I
they're
did
talking
see,
about
yeah.
it?
Yep. And they said it's going to be a whole new cast of characters that are going to be playing in there. So it's not going to tie to any of the existing lore from those Borderlands games. So that's
good.
exciting.
Yeah. Get to expand the universe a bit more.
Exactly, yeah. So Gearbox and all the subsidiaries attached to those games seem to be definitely firing on all cylinders at the moment. So it's good to see. Shifting tone to a different studio and a different premise here. Back in January, obviously, Hazelight Studios acclaimed It Takes Two was revealed to be getting the film and television adaptation treatment. And it's now been reported Amazon will be handling development of the movie, with Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, potentially set to star. That's according to Variety, which reports that It Takes Two movie is now set for, in quotes, priority development at Amazon, with DJ2 Entertainment still producing the movie, and Dwayne Johnson's Seven Bucks Productions, known most recently for Jumanji and Jungle Cruise, also on board. Johnson will apparently serve as a producer, and Variety says its sources claim Johnson may also star in the movie, although nothing is official as of right now. As in the game, It Takes Two's film adaptation, being penned by Sonic the Hedgehog movie writers Pat Casey and Josh Miller, will follow the adventures of May and Cody, a human couple preparing to divorce, who are forced to work together after being turned into living dolls. So, we've got the It Takes Two film well underway. They've moved pretty quickly on this one. We only sort of announced some news on this one a couple of months back, and now Amazon have sort of green-lit and also fast-tracked this sucker.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is this going to end up looking a bit like Tim Burton-esque, would you say? Like, with the dolls, are they going to lean into it and try and do maybe some stop-motion-y vibe? Or what do you reckon this is going to look like?
I think it's probably just going to be straight CG. CG's like steps and miles ahead right now.
Yeah,
maybe they will do stop motion. I just know that stop motion is like it's an art form. Like, it's definitely extremely difficult, and the payoff is gorgeous, but it does take time. But yeah, I could just see this being CG. The story. I haven't played the game, but from what I've heard, the story is pretty depressing, right?
Yeah. It's a heavy hitter, and yeah, like I know that like we just sort of had a very compressed synopsis as far as how the game, like what the game storyline is. But yeah, like it really leans into the emotional hardship and, divorce and falling out of love and all that other like real world conflict that many relationships go through. And then to see it sort of juxtaposed against this like quirky, whimsical, oh no, now we're turned into dolls. And, there's a whole story attached to it as far as that emotional push and pull. But I'm wondering what tone this film's going to take. Like, obviously we see Pixar and Disney they tread a tightrope as far
They
as
have been
cute
lately,
and funny
yeah.
to really emotionally draining and pulling at those heartstrings. So maybe they'll sort of lean into both sides. But I'm intrigued by this, and I think this could work. I think this could work if it's written well. Like the dudes behind Sonic the Hedgehog, they seem to know how to write a pretty decent movie. The Sonic films are doing well, and it's adapting from console to screen, as is this. But I'm intrigued. I'm not poo-pooing this idea. I think this could actually be a good watch when it hits our screens, big or small.
Australia's John O'Peck, he when we were talking about it in our little group chat, he kind of pointed out of what the tone could be, and he kind of suggested it would be like a mix of Jumanji and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and I thought that was probably really like hitting the nail on the head on what to expect, what kind of vibe they'll probably go for.
I like that. And then just a little bit more emotional way. Maybe some of like the tone.
I'm sorry, did you just say Honey, I Shrunk the Kids wasn't emotional?
It was in a way. I do miss Rick
Damn
Moranis
it.
being on the screen as well. But yeah, I would not be upset about that at all. Seeing these big worlds, like our world's obviously giganticized for these little doll characters. But yeah, I'm curious to see it, and it sounds like we're not going to have to wait overly long for this thing to hit the screen. Maybe this is going to be out sometime next year.
Yeah, Amazon knows how to push things through pretty quickly. Hence why I think it's probably going to be CG.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they're going to acquire some of the people that just got fired from Netflix's animation arm due to their share price falling out the arse this past week. So there's probably a lot of people looking for work, and I know I sort of said that in a lighthearted tone. It's horrible news, but hopefully opportunities like this might keep them in some employment and keep them busy and out of trouble, because no one ever wants to hear about someone getting fired for something that's out of their control.
Yeah, just greedy people.
Greedy indeed. All right, so shifting tone, the next bit of news. Amy Hennig, she's taking another shot at making a Star Wars game. Announced this week, Skydance New Media have said a new deal is in place with Lucasfilm Games to create, in quotes, a richly cinematic action-adventure game featuring an original story in the legendary Star Wars galaxy, end quote. And then we've got a line here from Amy Hennig. She's saying, I've often described how seeing Star Wars in 1977 essentially rewired my 12-year-old brain, shaping my creative life and future indelibly. Yeah, so Amy Hennig has then gone on to say, I'm elated to be working with Lucasfilm Games, again to tell interactive stories in this galaxy that I love. So Hennig first worked on the franchise when she joined Electronic Arts way back in 2014 to head up development on a Star Wars title at Visceral Games. After years of work, EA shelved said game and shut down Visceral entirely in late 2017. Hennig left the company soon after. So this is the second narrative-driven action-adventure game with an original story that Skydance is working on with Lucasfilms Games owner Disney. The developer last year announced another such project that will be set in Disney's Marvel universe as well. The end of EA's exclusivity deal for Star Wars has resulted in a proliferation of high-profile projects set in the sci-fi franchise. EA is continuing to work on a number of Star Wars titles through its Respawn and BioWare Austin Studios arms, but they'll also be joined by an open-world game from Ubisoft, a Xenia Air arena shooter for mobile and Switch called Star Wars Hunters, and obviously Quantic Dream's Star Wars Eclipse. So, boy howdy, do we have stories from a galaxy far, far away coming in thick and fast. But I guess it's nice for Amy Hennig, at this stage, touch wood, they don't do what happened to Visceral with this relationship with Skydance New Media, but it's nice that it feels like this is almost like a childhood dream for her to finally be realized the second go around. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and it's good to read that with the concept or the idea that she's kind of running with is featuring an original story in the legendary Star Wars galaxy. So it's good that we are hopefully not going to see all the mainline characters that we're used to and hearing about all their BS that we always have had to hear within the movies, and she can have the option of just taking the very vast universe galaxy and build up a story within there. And the terminology of being richly cinematic makes me excited. It means, for me, I would hope that means we quite possibly we'll get very detailed graphically environments and such, which is usually a big deal for me especially when you have access to a galaxy of unique worlds and environments and such. So get me immersed in there.
I'm just hoping stay far, far away from the Skywalkers. Stay far, far away. Go 1,000 years either side. Like, go far, far away from the stories that we get broadcast all the time. And, that's no shot to those stories. They're great and they've got their place. But
they've got their place, yeah.
Let's go somewhere new. Like, avoid fucking Tatooine, avoid Hoth, avoid all the mainline planets that we see day in, day out in every other film and game and things like that. And yeah, let's sort of have a little reset. Like, yeah, like as you said, like this is such a vast, vast universe that they could explore, but they just constantly go back to the well and they're like, you know what? We put a little Vader scene in here. The audience going to be popping. Like,
yeah,
that's all good, but like, let's go fresh. Let's go other directions and get excited and explore something that's lesser known to the common fans. So
no deserts, please.
yeah, no deserts, no snow. Like, yes, get away, stay away from Tatooine, stay away from Hoth and some of those other planets that we all know and love for various reasons. But we'll see. Like they've got a lot of Star Wars games on the churn at the moment, like through Respawn, BioWare, Ubisoft, Xenia, Quantic Dream, and now obviously the Skydance New Media partnership as well. We have got Star Wars games coming for the next decade and a half, it feels like, at the very least. So that's good, but yeah, new stories, please.
How curious is it that we have all these different studios, like completely different studios, like doing their own like little thing. And it's almost like a battle for who can do the franchise well. Like, you've all been given an assignment. Like, let's see who gets an A+, because, you're only as good as the next person's work. So, if Skydancer kicks ass or Respawn kicks ass, and they might make, the Quantic Dreams already make themselves look bad for other reasons, but... any of the other studios, you're only going to be as good. So it's very curious, very strange.
Like, obviously, Respawn nailed it with their most recent foray into the Star Wars universe, and I think that's what kept that dotted line connection between Star Wars and EA together, because EA had that exclusivity deal for years, and that hamstrung a lot of other studios that probably had great ideas for Star Wars, but like, sorry, we're tied in with Electronic Arts. But yeah, now seeing like, Quantic Dream, they're a very divisive studio for, a whole host of reasons. We don't need to get into the semantics about, how much bad shit goes on in the background. I think we've sort of unpacked that a lot over the years, but they do make a good narrative. They do make a good game with great mechanics and heavily emotional weight attached to those choices. So having those types of things in a Star Wars game, I'm intrigued by. Ubisoft, are we going to get something like big, vast open world like we see with Assassin's Creed and titles like that? So I think we're going to get very different Star Wars flavors over the coming years, and I'd be hungry. Star Wars. Oh yeah, I'm not sad about that. Let's go.
I don't know. Far Cry's been interesting the past few years.
Yeah. But it's for fans of games and fans of Star Wars, because this franchise transcends decades and decades and decades of history and touchstones for various people. It's cool because there's so much that they can dig up and unearth and lore to explore. So we'll see what happens. We've got more Star Wars on the way in every aspect. So get excited. Obviously, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi show coming out very soon.
Got another graphic from that released today or yesterday.
Yeah, I'm keen, but
Fingers
I saw old Qui-Gon himself, Liam Neeson, say, I'd be open to doing it, but I've only got interest in doing it in a film. I don't like television. Like, it was just this like ego.
Shut up, Taken 1, 2, 3, 4, Electric Boogaloo. Shut up.
Yeah. And so unless it's a film, we're not going to see any form of Qui-Gon back, unless it's a ruse, unless it's a misdirection.
Could be. And does like Disney this is what I wonder about. Does Disney own the likeness of like Qui-Gon, so they could just make him a
they deep fake him, you reckon?
Yeah.
They could. I'm assuming so.
I wonder. Can you own someone's face?
Yeah.
Oof. Oh gosh.
Liam Neeson, you're too good for Disney Plus. Well, fuck you then. We're gonna digitize you in anyway. Like,
that's curious. Now you just mentioned like the deep fake stuff. I'm wondering like where we're going to be in the future when it comes to like studios and using likeness and not necessarily paying a person for being in future things because contracts, etc. Oh, that's way too heavy to think about right now. But something interesting you kind of like planted a seed in my head to think about.
That's very interesting. And even then it's like to, actors that might suddenly pass away and things like that. Like what do they do where maybe the film's halfway through getting shot or they've got sequels planned? Like obviously you'd have to get approval from the deceased actor or the deceased talent's estate, I'd assume, because they'd want some royalties off the back of that. But it gets a bit funny. It gets a bit like, how you doing? But that's the world we'd be living in.
It's scary. It's getting to a very scary future.
Mm-hmm. And there's some brilliant deepfake studios or creative artists out there. The skills that they have, like obviously you need a lot of computing power to make that stuff happen, but it is scary good how accurate they can make the look and feel and interact. And then like the deep learning AI programs in the back that can then also then replicate voices and the cadence and the tone and the pitch of how people speak. So it's like, you could have died 50 years ago, but if they've got enough little sound bites and photos, they can make you live again in 2022 and beyond, which is insane.
It's kind of like that show you watched, the one about where you die and you get uploaded. Yeah.
Yeah, we live on forever and ever and ever and ever. As they say, once it's on the internet, it ain't ever disappearing, and that's more true than ever these days. Yeah,
send me
but
to
lots
the
of
cloud.
Star Wars coming.
Yeah.
More Star Wars be coming. But I just wanted to end kind of sort of like trial a new idea here, and I'm calling this. It's not very like the title. It's very much work in progress. I should have tried to come up with something witty, but I just wanted to know, Miss Hart, are you thumbs up or thumbs down on the news regarding the rumor that's both Sony and Microsoft, and no doubt a lot of the other primary developers out there, are considering placing ads in their assortment of free-to-play titles? So, there's been a couple of things picked up around the internet this past week where Microsoft and Sony are looking to put in-game ads to, help developers generate a little bit more Johnny Cash for the games that they're playing. Like you look at Fortnite, for example. We don't pay a cent to play Fortnite, but what if in between matches they pumped up an ad about Pepsi Max or brand XY? Would that be a detriment? Would you want to stop playing those games, or would you go, you know what? I get it. I didn't buy that crazy Doom Demon glider skin, so I'll watch this advert for 30 seconds and then get into the next match. Like, where do you stand? Are you thumbs up on this idea, or are you thumbs down on this idea?
I'm thumbs down. Like, I understand the idea that, like, hey, it's a free game. You should just, be accepting of whatever they put in it because you're getting a game for free. It's like, yeah, but I didn't make that decision to make the game free. The studio did. So, and because we've now been blessed with, like, a lot of games that have come out free, like, and it's usually within these, like, the battle royale bubble, I guess. Mostly those ones are free, right? Yeah, like I the second I start seeing an ad for like G Fuel or Sprite or whatever, because I thought about it, I'm like, what happens if they do it and it's like, how in some of these games they've got like billboards and banners and such like that in the background, and then they put ads on that. I'm like, does that bother me? Because it's not obstructing my game. It's not stopping me from playing. I can look away if I don't want to look at it.
That was going to be my follow-up question, because that's one of the other avenues that they're both allegedly looking at. So you could be running around Tilted Towers and you look up and there's a banner for erectile dysfunction medicine that you can pay.
Perfect. Tilted Towers and erectile dysfunction ad. That's great.
Didn't plan that out. It just came out that way after taking the erectile dysfunction medicine, obviously. But yeah, would that give you more of a thumbs up potentially, where it's subliminal marketing almost, where it's in the background left of center?
It turns like my thumbs down, because if it's straight up just like throwing it in my face, like, no, you have to watch this ad, you have to watch this ad, then it's straight thumbs down. Because what I'm linking this to is like the similarities in Twitch, right? So Twitch slowly started throwing ads into streams, whether a streamer wanted it or not. And if you're not a sub, you get ads. So, and all I know now from that experience and that change is I'm less likely to watch new streams, because I'm getting hit with like 2 ads before I can even check out a new stream, you know? So like just having these ads just pushed into me burdened my experience and changed everything about how I took in that piece of media. Now, having it in a game where it's going to come up and like, you know, get in my face, I mean, it could do this exact same thing and just tarnish my experience. And I probably don't want that. But like I said, like if I'm playing my game and there's an ad in the corner that's not interrupting my game, like I said, I can look away from it, I cannot pay attention to it, then maybe that's fine. Like, maybe that's not as bad. But my bottom line is like, if you decide to make a game free and, you know, you're heavily cosmetic focused, then, I mean, that's where your revenue's meant to come in, right? Like, you can't make a game free and say like, well, you owe us. You know?
Yeah. It's going down that mobile gaming platform heavily, where you download a free-to-play mobile game and you get inundated with ads. You're like, I'm gonna do this move, and then I'm gonna do the follow-up. And it's like, okay, you did your move, now here's an ad for generic product or generic game XY. Watch that, scroll through, and then you do your next one. And it's starting to follow that mold, and it's terrifying. Like, this is just me, you know, hypothesizing what could happen down the line. But imagine like you're playing these games and you get like a subtle pop-up in the top right corner, like a rotating ticker of various ads starting to sort of scroll and things. It's like, where does it end? I feel once this floodgate is opened, like you said with the Twitch stuff, they gradually snuck these ads in, and now even with contracted Twitch streamers, they have to, like, obviously the plans vary from contract to contract, but some of the contracts I've seen for partnered Twitch streamers is they have to play a minimum of 4 ads per hour as per the Twitch guidelines. So that gets baked in irrespective of if they want to or not. Otherwise, they can be susceptible to having some of their money docked. They can get lesser sub splits and things like that. So yeah, it's becoming forced down the pipe from the top all the way down to the consumer. And I worry that Sony and Microsoft down the line, they start fine. It's like, oh, it's just one ad. It's just one billboard. It's fine. You know, I love Mountain Dew, and I love it even more because I just shot that guy, and, you know, I got a cool screenshot because there's a do the dude graphic in the background on a billboard or whatever bullshit. It's like, but it is that subliminal marketing. It is very predatory in its subtlety, because it's, you know, it gets stuck in your brain. Like if you're playing Fortnite all day and you see this same Mountain Dew graphic or erectile dysfunction, whatever brand it is that's on these billboards or getting flown or sky written in the clouds or whatever, you see that for 6 hours a day. Naturally, after a few days, you're going to be like, fuck, I really feel like fucking Mountain Dew. Or maybe I do need to get my erectile dysfunction sorted. You know, whatever it is.
I know I need to get mine.
I know. It's a very touchy subject, but yeah, it's going to embed itself into players' psyche over time. So it does get a little dicey. So they're going to have to regulate this somehow. Like, no doubt the various governing bodies will come in, and this could vary country to country, as we've seen with loot boxes and stuff.
That's actually that's a good point.
And you'd think with the branding, it would probably be localized to the region. Like, I play on the Oceanic servers, so my marketing is probably going to be different to the marketing you see in the US, because there's no point globally advertising brands that might only be available in specific regions. So it's going to be a slippery slope, and I'm worrying for those free-to-play games that it's going to open the floodgates, and then these free-to-play games will probably weave in something on the back end where it's like, instead of the battle pass, maybe it's a monthly subscription to make it ad-free then, so they're going to sneak in all these little things to make all the money. And business, at the end of the day, you want to make money, right? But there's other ways to go about it than this. So I'm thumbs down. Fortnite
already has that little monthly subscription battle pass thing that they've got going on, where you pay a certain amount a month, and it just, it gives you this and that.
That's $17 Australian a month.
And so I could only see them weaving it in and being adless gameplay or something like that, already kind of planting the seed in there, and so people could be like, well, I'm getting this and this and that with it as well, so, and no ads, so yeah, okay, I'll do it now. I'll pay for it now.
Yeah, they'll these studios, especially with Warzones, they'll dangle these carrots where it's like, if you buy this certain skin, it'll be ad-free for the month, or you buy the battle pass or the friend pass, whatever they're going to call this thing, they'll weave in a little surcharge to avoid these ads blasting you as you play. But I'm thumbs down at the moment. You with me? You thumbs down too?
Yeah, I'm definitely more on the side of thumbs down.
Yeah, listeners, are you thumbs up or thumbs down regarding the alleged advertisement coming our way in certain free-to-play games from Sony and Microsoft? And from what I've seen on some of the news articles, they're looking to potentially roll this stuff out by the end of the year. So we'll see what the strategy is. We'll see what the market feedback is once this comes out, and if they pull it pretty quick, or if they have to go back to the boardroom and retool. Yeah. So but we're both thumbs down. Listeners, thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know. We'll chuck it on the socials, and you can respond there, because I'd be very curious to get a bit of a temperature check from the listeners to see if you're in or you're out. Are those thumbs up or are they down? So let's get moving into this.
New releases and events.
All right, we've got a pretty good assortment of stuff dropping this week. If we're going to look at it from a TV or streamer perspective, obviously Halo Episode 6 is out on Paramount+, Moon Knight Episode 5 on Disney+. That Dirty Black Bag, which is a show I haven't mentioned on here yet, really, 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 really good, gritty Western on AMC+.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that name.
It could be anything, but Dominic Cooper's in it, who most recently played the lead in The Preacher. Travis Fimmel, who obviously played Ragnar Lothbrok in Vikings. He stars in it. He also has written and produced it. Really, really cool, gritty, violent Western, really well shot. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I've really been enjoying that so far. Barry Season 3 drops on Binge this week.
Yes.
Which we are both excited for. One of the most underrated shows of the last few years by a good margin.
Yeah, well, there's a good chunk of us that obviously know it's an amazing show and definitely taken it on. But, I still think there's a lot of people out there that may not understand how wonderfully, unique and great it is, especially just seeing Bill Hader in such a dark, sometimes funny, but mostly dark role. It's pretty, it gets pretty violent. So, but it's really good. It's really good. Really well done. Really good. Great cast.
And, it's a phenomenal cast. It's just so well written, and it's such a unique, interesting concept, but it hooked me from the jump, and I think it was the same with you. Those first few episodes, I'm like, I'm in, let's go. And as you said, Bill Hader crushes it in this show. We also get the second part of Season 4 of Ozark dropping this week. We'll see what Marty Bird and his family's up to, obviously laundering money for the Mexican cartel and everything else. Great show. I love me some Ozark, and I'm looking forward to binging that entire part 2 for Season 4 next week.
I did not know that's what that show was about.
It's really good. It's It's a lazy comp, but if you enjoyed Breaking Bad, I think you'll enjoy this. You know, normal, everyday man, desperate times happen, desperate measures are taken, doing what he can to support his family, gets involved with some heavy hitters, the Mexican drug cartel,
just a few.
and it's really good. And Jason Bateman, I love him. He's great in this show.
He is,
yeah, it's really, really good. As far as movies coming to the big screen this week, obviously we had a heap of awesome films drop last week, and I'm going to go check out The Northman and that Nick Cage loose biopic this weekend. So I'm looking forward to reporting back on that next week. But any period piece aficionados out there, we've got Downton Abbey, a new era coming to the big screen. I could not give a rat's ass about Downton Abbey. I know a lot of people love it, and even like that Bridgerton as well.
Yeah, everyone's been talking about that Bridgerton one. I'm like, I don't know, like nothing really draws me to those shows. They might be fantastic. They might be bloody great, but yeah, nothing about them really draws me in, which I guess is just the contrast to us saying like some people don't even know what Barry is. So
yeah, that's true. So we're not going to cast any stones here, but any Downton Abbey fan, I don't even know what they call the are they Downtoners? Are they Abbyists? I don't know. Whatever you call yourselves out there, Downton Abbey fans, a new era is coming to the Australian cinemas this Thursday. If you're looking for new games to play, as far as games that have either just come out the last day or so or coming out this week, we've got Ganraya 2, Hakuma Kajiro, Moonshot, A Journey Home, Neptuna X Senran Kagura, which is making its way to the Nintendo Switch. So spicy handheld action there. Dune Spice Wars is coming this week. Galactic Civilizations 4, The Serpent Rogue, Zombie Army 4, Dead War on the Switch, Abyss Memory, Fallen Angel, The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition coming on all platforms, Vampire the Masquerade, which is their Battle Royale version of Vampire Bloodlust weirdness, coming out this week on PC and PS5. Arise, A Simple Story, making its way to the Switch. Bug Snacks, as well as that new DLC coming out this week, obviously on Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Cities VR Quest is making its way. Cities VR is making its way to obviously virtual reality, primarily on the Oculus Quest. Kaiju Wars on the PC. Rico London, Rogue Legacy 2.
yes.
Sherlock Holmes, The House of the Dead 4, which is that remake collection that's popping its way onto everything. Trigon Space Story, Libertalia, and the last one, which I think a lot of people is going to get excited about, and it's getting a lot of positive press as far as early hands-on and early access. Nintendo Switch Sports is coming out at the back end of this coming week as well. So,
a lot of good stuff.
Plenty
here.
of games.
Yeah.
Anything you're going to jump into this week?
Obviously, Bug Snacks and probably Rogue Legacy too. I loved the first Rogue Legacy, so the Rogue Legacy 2 is probably just going to be even greater and even more polished.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a look at Bug Snacks. So I, as I said on last week's podcast or the week before, I've got it, but I've yet to play it. So I'm looking forward to jumping into Bug Snacks for the first time, and I'll probably try and get into Nintendo Switch Sports as well. See what all the fuss is about there. But let's jump on over to this.
Tweet of the week.
And this tweet, hot off the internet press. At time of recording, this tweet's been out for maybe 6 hours or so, give or take. This comes by way of at Nintendo America on Twitter. And it says, "Ink coming!" ! Splatoon 3 splashes down on the Nintendo Switch on the 9th of September. And you can also get a look at the game with this fresh Turf War gameplay. Obviously, pre-orders are available on your various websites wherever you are in the world. EB Games, so on and so forth for here in Australia. But yeah, at Nintendo America, announcing that Splatoon 3 is making its way to us on September the 9th around the globe. And if you want to see some current gameplay, check out that Turf War clip. So just head over to at Nintendo America on Twitter and check that video out. You excited for this, Miss Hart?
I am, but, we initially were, I can't remember, it was the start of the year, and there was like, what are you looking forward to? And I said, I want a date for Splatoon. And then it was like one of the first things that they're like, summer this year. And everyone's like, well, at least, you know it's coming out summer. September is the very, very last month. So, you know, they got us. It's definitely...
That's not summer, isn't it? Isn't that...
It's summer,
autumn?
right? June,
July, August. That'd be your
Oh,
summer.
I'm thinking
that's our winter.
probably more like... It's still hot. It's still,
Okay.
like, hot. So...
I had to think for a second as far as the seasons and how
Yeah,
they're
no,
weaved
now
together.
you got me processing it. It's like, you know, this is like some kindergarten grade stuff here, and I've completely now forgotten what the seasons are. It's December,
Yeah, so
January,
it's-
February is summer, winter.
Summer. Yeah. Yeah. This is the confusing part about living on opposite sides of the world. Swinter.
Yeah. March, April, May.
And then June, July, August would be your summer or our winter.
I guess.
So
Yeah, no, they screwed up.
technically, Nintendo lied to us all when they said summer at the start of the year.
I mean, by the way, like where I'm at, it's still summer. Like,
Yeah, like it'll
temperature
still be nice.
wise.
It'll be nice and warm. It's out in the warm months. We'll just say that. But yeah, 9th of September. So we've got another big title officially announced for that sort of back half of the year. And yes, Splatoon 3 incoming on the September 9th. So get your pre-orders in today. Don't know if they're going to have any weird, obtuse, various additions you can order that might allow for animated movements in the menus and things like Sonic. But yeah, get amongst that, Nintendo fans. But listeners, that brings us to the end of THG 280. Miss Hart, you got anything else you wanted to say or shout out, or are we just shutting this sucker down?
let's shut this sucker down.
All right, listeners, as we mentioned, let us know if you are thumbs up or thumbs down regarding the free-to-play games coming your way with adverts by the back end of 2022. But yeah, this brings us to the end of episode 280 of THG. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe us and all the other podcasts you listen to on the regular. Those rating and reviews help keep the emotional lights on in our hearts, takes no time, costs no money, and means the world to us. But, 8-Bit Nation, until next time, much love.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.